This time, I take on a crackshot marksman.
Relax them hands. Lock them arms and shoulders.
Try to outsmart a maths professor.
Those questions were pretty hard.
And attempt to beat a kayak champion.
I beat him.
Professionals train for years to be the best at what they do. So is it ever possible to beat them at their own game? I want to know if there's a way to do this, or this, only without all the years of hard work. Can you ever shortcut your way to the top? Usually, the answer would be...
You got no chance.
No way. No chance.
But these aren't normal circumstances.
I'm Alexis Conrad.
As a hustler, I pride myself on pulling the perfect scam.
And I'm incredibly competitive. When I set myself a challenge, I'll do anything to win because I hate losing.
I'm taking on experts and will face each in a challenge. Even though I have no experience in that field, I'll only have a few days to prepare.
If there's a shortcut, I'll find it. Whether it's using scientific techniques or incredible technology, or just a little bit of old school con, I'll find a way to get an edge.
This is the series which shows how anyone can beat the professionals, as long as you know what I know. This is Man versus Expert.
So first up today, can I beat a champion marksman?
My first challenge is against John Chambers. He's a .22 rifle world champion, a UK shotgun champion, and a long-range rifle champion. John's one of the best there is, and I'll be trying to beat him in a shooting contest. Now, I get to set the challenge we take on. I'll learn all I can about shooting, look into the science, and draw on my years of hustling to come up with a shooting contest to hopefully tip the scales in my favor without John suspecting a thing. Trouble is, my experience with firearms is very limited. I've only ever shot a gun once. So, if I'm going to become a sharpshooter, there's only one place to go: America. Small town Georgia, where men are men and men carry guns. So this is the perfect place to find out everything there is to know about firearms. I've heard about a guy who's been shooting guns since he was a kid. Ex-US Navy firearms instructor Michael O'Neill has been teaching people to shoot straight all his life. That's why they call him the Chief.
Chief.
Yeah.
Good to meet you. So basically, you're the guy that people come to learn how to shoot good and quick.
Right.
And I mean, you've been training soldiers to shoot, basically.
Right. I teach people to relax. I tell them, Marine Corps, you stay in the sights and keep that daggone trigger moving. Yeah. Breathe. You can't sit there and make it perfect and then pull the trigger, because you induce muscles into the shot that makes the shot go wrong.
Can we shoot?
Yeah, we can shoot. Yes, sir. Let's do it.
The guy I'm taking on has been a champion with many different types of gun. So I'm going to get a quick crash course to help me work out what kind of gun I could use for the challenge.
Whenever you're ready, pull your pistol. Keep it pointed down and at the target. You're good at that, okay? Now load it.
Chief's breaking me in gently with a .22 caliber revolver.
I want you to relax them hands. Lock them arms and shoulders. Line your sights up. Keep the trigger moving. Relax them hands. Relax them hands. I'm playing patty cake with you.
Now, it looks odd that the Chief is massaging my hand, but it's to get me to relax so I don't rush the shot.
Keep it moving. Keep it moving. It'll bust when it's ready. Don't try to make it perfect. Taking way too long. Stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with it. Stay in it. Stay in it. What'd you see when it fired? Did it surprise you?
A little bit.
Okay. Little bit, don't hack it. It should be a real surprise, because you were taking too long. Whenever you're comfortable, let's do it again. Okay? Keep it moving and stay with it. Keep it moving. And baby figure eight. Stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with it.
Oh, stay with it.
Don't move a muscle.
I was just too happy with my shot there.
Keep that thing moving. That's good. Stay with it. Stay with it. Keep it moving. Stay with it. Stay with it. That's good. You're getting wild on me, ain't you? You got to fight that. That's the mentality I teach.
Okay.
Take your time. Put it down. Relax. See how you want to go again?
Yeah.
You have to fight that. That's a male macho thing.
Thank you.
And you notice what I'm doing?
Yeah.
I'm keeping you relaxed.
Yeah. If the challenge was a 5-meter shootout, I'd be deadly. But that won't happen, so the Chief's busted out something long range.
So it's a completely different setup. Tell me about this rifle.
It's an AR-15.
Get me started. What do I do?
Okay, load your magazine.
Okay.
You push it in with it, not being facetious, but the pointy end to the front, right?
Okay.
And just put it in there and slam it in till it locks, and then try to pull it back out. Now bang the button. The Joker's hot. Orange? Oh, going for a little one, huh? Yeah. All right, big boy. Take your time. Now, whenever you're ready, you start working with that trigger. This thing don't kick. It's just a little baby. Just nice and relax that grip. Relax that grip. The only thing working is the trigger finger. Keep that trigger moving. I understand you're apprehensive to...
That felt good.
What more can I teach you, big boy?
I took quite a lot away from that, I have to say. Relaxing, primary thing, relax. Bit like a golf swing. You have to relax and things will go well. Now, I'm a little bit worried because this is the very beginning of my journey and I've shot rather well, so I don't want to fill myself with a false sense of security.
Even though I've got the gun basics now, John Chambers, the expert I'm taking on, has 30 years of shooting experience. If I set a straightforward target shooting contest, he'll beat me hands down. I need something where there's room for John to make mistakes.
Everybody remembers Dirty Harry. Clint Eastwood in those movies with that giant gun. Well, there was one scene where he's walking through this training facility and he's shooting moving targets and they're all painted up like baddies, so he's putting big holes through them. I'm about to try this, and this might give me some ideas about my final challenge. Maybe having to choose targets, multiple targets, maybe that's the way to go.
This is Rob Phipps, ex-Army combat veteran, gun instructor, and the man who knows how to hit the right target under pressure, shooting the baddies, not the goodies.
What are your questions?
My questions? How do you do that?
20 years of experience.
Yes, okay.
I've not even had 20 hours, so I'd better get a crash course in how to shoot the bad guys.
Ready to go live?
Yes.
The goal here is to shoot the red swinger and not to injure the green good guy.
Okay.
Right-handed shooters tend to miss low left. All right, so if you go low left here, it's gonna go in between the targets. If the swinger were on the other side and you go low left, you could be pushing those bullets into our innocent target. All right, shooter ready.
Yes.
Draw. Smooth trigger squeeze. Nice job, okay? But what you've done now is you've set your own standard. To become a true pro, it's all about repeating that good performance right there. All right, so here we go. Draw.
I'm remembering what the chief taught me and trying hard to relax my grip.
Draw.
Hopefully his training has paid off.
Draw. All right?
I got all four, I can't believe it.
So here's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
All right? I'm gonna give you about 5 seconds to execute that task. I'm gonna put you on the shot timer, and when you're done, I'm gonna give your time to the 100th of a second.
Yep.
So now we got a little bit of pressure. We got the instructor,
Okay.
the clock,
Okay.
and a perfectionist.
Yes, you've noticed that, have you?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Shooter ready.
Ready.
Okay, that was at 4.26 seconds.
Okay, and I missed.
Shooter ready.
Yes.
Okay, that was a 4.02. It's a right-handed shooter. Where are most of your shots going?
Bottom left.
They're going bottom left.
Shooting under pressure is a completely different ballgame.
It is.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
is.
All right.
So here we go. Shooter ready.
Ready.
Nice and smooth. Okay,
I didn't kill them, right? It's a shoulder wound.
I'm not a doctor.
Okay.
In my former line of work, you'd be fired today, so.
Okay, fine.
I was feeling confident until then, but after shooting under pressure, a bit of doubt is setting in. Still, there's definitely something in shooting that type of target against the clock. Coming up, I check out some extraordinary technology that could give me an edge.
This thing up here has done everything for me.
Before taking on champion shooter John Chambers. And I plot my second challenge, an attempt to outsmart this unsuspecting professor of mathematics in a quiz, using my secret weapon. I'm Alexis Conrad, and I'm using science, technology, and a little bit of hustle to outwit the professionals. I've challenged expert marksman John Chambers to a shootout. So far, I've had a crash course in handling firearms, and I've discovered that hitting the target is not as easy as it looks. I need to be consistently accurate if I'm to beat John, and science usually has an answer. So that's my next port of call.
Now, I've heard that there's bits of technology out there that can really, really help. So I've asked an expert to come down to the rifle range to see if there's anything I can use.
This is weapons technology expert Jeff Walker. He's got a telescopic sight that can eliminate human error. Jeff set up a target over 450 meters away. That's the length of around 5 soccer pitches, and he's going to show me what this bad boy can do.
That easy. I think I could describe that as a shockwave. So this thing sounds like it sort of pretty much does all the work for you.
It's like a smart bomb for a shooter. This scope incorporates laser range-finding capability.
Accurate to over 1,000 yards, the computer in this laser scope ranges the distance to the target, calculates at what point the bullet will drop, shows how much to allow for a crosswind, and tells me with a little orange dot exactly where to point the rifle. The only thing it doesn't do is pull the trigger.
So one push on your scope to power this thing up,
Okay.
and then a second push on your target will range your target, and you're gonna put that orange dot right in the center of the chest and pull the trigger.
Okay.
Got it? There it is.
Oh, yes.
He got it.
Oh, yes. That is incredible. That scope, really, I mean, I'm a beginner. I have no idea about recoil, about distance, about any of the stuff that you really would have to know about if you wanted to be a good shot. And just this thing up here has done everything for me.
Looks like a normal rifle scope.
That's kind of almost like cheating, though, isn't it?
Call it what you want. It's victory.
That scope is amazing. I mean, it really does all the work for you. And it does feel like a little bit of a cheat, if I'm honest.
Now, I like cheating, but when I cheat, I do like to be in control and at least do some of the work myself. But that laser sight has given me a great idea. My trip to the States taught me how to handle guns and pick the right target. The pistol range gave me some great ideas, but it wasn't until I met Jeff and his laser scope that I realized how I could beat John. Now I've got to set a challenge, one that gives me a chance at beating John in spite of his decades of experience. I've done my research and I've come up with a plan. I just need to see if I can pull it off. It's challenge day, and I've taken on world champion marksman John Chambers in a shooting contest. I've finally come up with a plan, and I'm desperately hoping I can win. There's no guarantee, but I do stand a chance.
John, thanks for coming down. So, I think I've come up with a challenge that will put us up against each other, but will give me a slither of a hope of beating you, because I know what you're capable of, and I've had to really think hard of figuring out a way just to even the odds a little bit. So, this is what I've come up with. If you look behind us, down the range, we've each got balloons in front of us. You're going to be shooting from this side, I'm going to be shooting from that side. My balloon colour is black, okay? Your balloon colour is white. So as you can see, your 10 balloons have been covered with mine, leaving a little bit of an edge that you can see. Same goes from my side. I can see a little bit of the black balloons. It's a test of skill, speed, and keeping calm. Whoever pops all 10 of their balloons first wins. Now, for every wrong balloon that you pop, there's a 5-second penalty.
I think even if you've had a lot of training, it's probably going to be quite difficult, so...
John, good luck.
Thank you very much.
So I'm shooting the black balloons on my side and John is shooting the white on his. There's only a tiny amount of our target balloons visible, so it's going to take incredible skill from our expert to shoot his white balloons without popping the black. And I'm really going to have to keep my nerve.
Stand by. 3, 2, 1, fire. Cease fire!
John.
Well done.
Fantastic. Jerry, what have you got? Tell us.
Well, John, you shot your balloons in 13.58 seconds, but you shot 7 of Alexis's balloons, making a penalty of 35 seconds. Your time score is 48.58 seconds.
Okay.
And Alexis, you were fast. You shot your balloons in 10.3, but you shot 1 of John's balloons with a 5-second penalty, making a total time of 15.3, beating 48.58. Well done.
Good win.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, John. Pleased with that.
Yeah, I bet you are, yeah.
Here's what made it possible to outshoot a pro. It was all down to a clever use of lasers. Not the laser in my sight, but a high-powered laser which I'd hidden on my gun. These lasers have an incredible property which I exploited to make me a lot better at shooting balloons than John. The heat the laser creates is absorbed by the black balloons which melt at the point of contact and then pop. But it's reflected harmlessly from the white. So by moving the laser across all the balloons, the black ones all popped, leaving the white ones intact. That explains my sudden brilliance. To make it really hard for John, I placed the balloons really close together. Even for someone of his amazing skill, it was nearly impossible to hit the target without popping the balloon in front.
This is my gun. Now, this that's attached to it is a fibre optic cable that is carrying a laser beam that goes out of here. It's perfectly safe because it's off. But this, pointed to a balloon, will make it pop. But what's really clever about it is it will only burst the black ones.
I did still have some work to do, though. To avoid raising John's suspicions, I had to use all the skills I'd learned to fire my gun, but to make the bullets miss the balloons. In addition, I couldn't risk John seeing the lasers, so I made sure that the safety goggles we were wearing had a special lens in them which filtered out the frequency of the laser, making it invisible.
So my job actually was to miss the balloons, and that's what a bad job I've done, because I did accidentally shoot one of them.
Oh.
So John, I'll take the victory because I like winning, but secretly I bow to your superiority in the shooting.
Thank you. It's been fun.
That's one win in the bag. But now for a little grey matter. I've always been in awe of mathematical geniuses, so can I outwit one? This is one of Great Britain's most iconic seats of learning, the oldest university in the English-speaking world. the hallowed halls of Magdalen College, University of Oxford, England. It's home to a maths professor who I want to beat in a mathematical challenge. And this is Professor Min Yong Kim, tutor of the university's Mathematical Institute. He's a professor of number theory and one of the world's foremost experts in arithmetical algebraic geometry.
See how numbers inform the study of shapes and how the study of shapes inform numbers. I don't know if that makes some sense, but...
So, here's the thing. I've come up with a plan to beat this professor, and it has nothing to do with being good at maths. However, my plan does mean that I can't do the challenge myself. It'll become very clear why, but I've had to choose a very specific accomplice.
Here's my secret weapon, Lewis. Lewis is 12. His favourite lessons are PE, history and geography.
My worst subject is maths because I find it really boring.
Despite that, he's going head-to-head with a professor in a mathematics quiz. And what's more, I'm confident he's going to win. Adjudicator Matthew Lettington will ask devilishly difficult mathematical questions that have been locked away in a box, so neither the professor nor Lewis could possibly have seen them. Each question has 3 possible answers. This is a sudden death quiz. Get a question wrong, and you lose.
What is Heron's formula used to calculate? Is it A, the area, B, prime numbers, or C, velocity?
Coming up, find out if 12-year-old Lewis really can beat a professor in a mathematics quiz. And for my final challenge, I take on a world champion kayaker in a 1-kilometre race.
Push, push, push.
I'm Alexis Conran, and I'm doing whatever it takes to beat the professionals at their own game. I've come up with an inventive plan to beat a professor of mathematics in a quiz. My secret weapon is Lewis, a 12-year-old boy. In theory, it should be foolproof. This is a sudden death quiz, so get a question wrong and you lose.
What is Heron's formula used to calculate? Is it A, the area, B, prime numbers, or C, velocity? If I could have your answers, please. The correct answer is area, which is answer A. Which of the following is a well-known fractal? Is it A, the Sierpinski rosebush, B, the Sierpinski highway, or C, the Sierpinski carpet? And I can tell the correct answer is indeed C, so both contestants are right. David is trying to chat up Sarah. On day 1, he sends 1 text message. On day 2, he sends 2 text messages, and so on until on day 100, he sends Sarah 100 text messages. If I pick a text message at random, what is the probability that 11 divides the day it was sent? Is it A, 1/9, B, 99 over 1010, or C, 999 over 10,001? And Lewis has answer B, and Mignon has answer C. The correct answer is answer B. So congratulations to Lewis.
That was an amazing victory for Lewis, but there's still one question to answer. How did I do it? Lewis was the only reason we won the challenge. I could never have done it. He was my secret weapon. Why? Well, the win was all thanks to a biological condition known as presbycusis, and this is where Lewis comes in. He has youth on his side. Presbycusis is something that eventually affects us all. It's age-related hearing loss. So all the decades of studying to become such an expert were the very thing that made it possible for me to beat the professor. And here's why. The cells in our ears that send sound waves naturally degrade as we get older. And as a result, we become less sensitive to the high-frequency oscillations of high-pitched sounds. So, how did I use presbycusis to help Lewis beat the professor? Well, I set up an ingenious code system of beeps that I generated from my laptop, which was hooked up to speakers positioned all round the auditorium. Armed with the answers, I could signal Lewis from backstage. 1 beep for answer A, 2 for B, and 3 for C. Here's the really clever bit. These beeps were played at a high frequency of 16 kilohertz. Clearly audible to 12-year-old Lewis, but far too high for 50-year-old Min Yong to hear. In what you saw just now, the high-frequency sound waves were removed just in case you had a 12-year-old in the room who might give away the answers. Okay, let's go back and play it again, but this time with the sounds included. So if you're 12, you should be able to hear which is the correct answer.
Is it A, the area, B, prime numbers, or C, velocity?
If you can't hear anything, I'm afraid you're probably too old. Because every person has an upper frequency limit, the highest sound they can hear. For an average 30-year-old, it's this. For a 40-year-old, it's this. And if you're in your 50s, like Professor Min Yong, the highest sound you're likely to hear is this.
Yes, I'm really relieved, but I have to say those questions were pretty hard.
That's 2 wins out of 2. Now for my final challenge, I want to beat a sports champion. But how? Meet Slovakian freestyle kayak champion, Petr Čonka. He's a World Cup winner, European champion, and 11-time Slovak champion.
You'd beat me, wouldn't you? I don't even know why I'm asking you.
And you never was sitting in a kayak before?
No.
You will probably have troubles to go straight. It's quite a difficult sport.
I'm going up against him in a kayak challenge. I've got 1 week before I take Petr on, and I've never sat in a kayak before. This will be tough. To improve my chances, as always, I'll set the challenge myself. So I'll be looking into the science and hustles that can load the dice in my favor. That way, I can set a challenge. I might just have a chance of winning. But before I can even think of an ingenious plan, I need to learn to paddle. I'm training at Cardiff International Whitewater, an Olympic standard course where the Americans and Russians trained for the 2012 Olympics.
You just sit on here and paddle. How can be? I mean, seriously.
Paddle in the water, look where you want to be.
My instructor, Matthew Houghton, is starting me off with the basics.
Easy as that. Do a little bit of backwards paddling. That's how we stop the boat if we're going to crash into anything. If we're paddling, we want to go in a straight line, keep the momentum going forward.
Okay, I'm not going where I want to go.
Try that body rotation a little bit. That's it, magic.
Oh, yeah.
One of the most dangerous things for a novice is being trapped upside down in a kayak. So I'm about to get a very important lesson in how to escape if I capsize. Frankly, this terrifies me. To make matters worse, it's pouring with rain, and the water is absolutely freezing.
It's probably less wet in the water right now.
It's all about staying calm and in control.
But it has to be done, so here goes.
That's it, excellent.
Oh, that's kind of a fear that has been dealt with now.
With the safety drill over, Matthew wants to assess my straight line speed to see how I'd rate against the champion kayaker.
So at the Olympic standard, they can do about 50 metres in 10 seconds. So see how fast you can do it in.
Just actually getting to that buoy will be a small victory to me.
And go!
Yay! How much was that?
29 seconds.
What?
So we only need to shave off about 19 seconds and we're there.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to think of something else.
I'm worse than I thought I'd be. I need about 10 years' experience to get anywhere near a decent time. Somehow, I've got to generate extra momentum.
Keep paddling.
Maybe I can outpace him with the power of the white water run behind me.
Lean onto it, lean downstream. Oh! Okay, straighten up, go for it, hard.
This course pumps out a massive 8 tons of water per second, generating amazing speeds.
You right?
That was tougher than I expected.
Yeah.
How did I do, though?
You did okay, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, a few little swims there.
I was just trying my best not to drown. I'd never realised how much you get sucked into
The big stoppers and
the
holes.
eddies. I thought you just get in, you paddle to where you want to go, and you're there.
Probably need to look at a different way of maybe generating some more speed.
Okay, I'll have a think.
Yeah,
Cheers,
good
man.
luck.
Thank
Good
you.
luck. Well
Thanks
done.
a lot.
There's no point in pursuing the rapids as an option. It was hard enough keeping control of the kayak, let alone staying afloat. What it did, though, was show me the immense power of water currents. So next, I'm planning to investigate the science behind the movement and properties of water, known as hydrology. Can science help me set a challenge I might stand a chance of winning? I'm hoping hydrology expert Professor Jim Griffiths can give me an idea of how I can harness the natural power of water.
Jim, can I get a stronger current pushing me and lesser current pushing him?
You can go better than that. You can actually be on a river where current actually changes direction.
The current changes direction?
Yeah, there's 2 parts of a river. There's a bit where the river is flowing down off the hills, taking the water down to the sea.
Right.
But then you reach the stretch near the coast where the river becomes tidal. So the tide can be seen as like a really big wave. It's basically flowing uphill. And you can take advantage of that if you were trying to kayak. So get your timing right, you might have a chance.
Oh, so that's my next question. How do you know when this happens?
Well, we have very, very detailed records of how any tide is going to occur, how big it's going to be, the timing. We've got it down to seconds.
Well, this is good. It's also given me some ideas about a challenge. Right, so I think I've got a solution. The problem is it's going to be a massive, massive risk.
I found a river that's affected by the large tides Jim talked about that create a natural phenomenon called a tidal bore. It's basically a large wave which I want to use to help me beat PETA. Tidal bores occur in around 60 rivers all over the world, including the Amazon, the Bay of Fundy in Canada, and most notably the Kantang River in China, which has waves of up to 9 meters high. The one which had everything I needed for this challenge to work is the River Severn in the UK. A tidal bore is created when the sea tide comes in, flowing up a narrow and shallow river to push against the natural current. This creates a wave going upstream, leaving a new current trailing behind it for up to 15 minutes. But this natural phenomenon occurs periodically, and I'll have to get my timing spot on if I'm to harness the power of a tidal bore to give me a chance of winning this challenge. So finally, I've got a plan. We'll both paddle a distance of just over 1 kilometre on the same stretch of the River Severn, using the same kayak. Whoever has the fastest time over the course wins. So far, it all seems fair. But here's the sneaky bit. PETA will go upriver against the normal 2-knot current. I'll paddle after the tidal bore has passed with around a 15-knot current pushing me along and giving me that extra speed I need. In theory, it should work, but for a novice like me, it's very dangerous. Flip over and I could get stuck underwater and hit any number of submerged dangers.
a big tree trunk right there.
There's a big tree underneath that. It's like an iceberg.
To help out, I've enlisted Stuart Matthews, who has surfed tidal bores all over the world and knows this river backwards.
Now look at the trees coming down.
Yeah, and loads of eddies now forming up everywhere.
I'm getting in as much training as I can, but there's a lot left to chance. The timing has to be perfect. I don't know if I'll have enough power, or if I'll be able to stay afloat and survive the impact of the awesome tidal bore. Coming up, will my daring plan to use an unpredictable force of nature give me the speed I need to outpower world champion Petr Čonka?
Should I beat him?
I'm Alexis Conran, and I'm taking shortcuts to beat the best in the world. I'm taking on champion kayaker Petr Čonka in a race against the clock along the same stretch of river. Unknown to him, my plan is to harness the incredible force of the tidal bore, and I'm hoping it'll be enough to propel me to victory. Now, for the moment of truth.
It's quite dangerous. It's a big, big body of water that moves in one direction. And it's fine to ride it, but if you come off, then you're in trouble. Because there's no way of getting back on your kayak, there's no way of getting to the bank, so it comes with quite a lot of dangers. But I've run out of time now. Peter, today's the day.
Day with Big D.
The Big D day. Okay, so I've come up with a challenge. We're going to row the same kayak, and we're going to do the same stretch of the River Severn. We're both going to be going upstream.
Yep.
The distance is just over 1 kilometre. To keep time and to keep us safe, we've got Stuart over there. Stuart knows the river better than anybody else alive. Seeing as you're my guest, I'm going to let you go first, see what I'm up against.
I'm nervous. I can't lose, you know, against you.
Okay. You ready?
Yes, I'm ready. You are?
Yeah, I'm ready. Okay, let's go. It's just been giving me sleepless nights. I've been really worried about capsizing. Peter is a bit of a superhuman. Picked up this canoe with one hand. Takes me about 5 minutes to pick it up. He's a champion athlete. I'm not quite sure if I can beat him.
You know, ready?
Oh my God. He can't possibly keep that up for over 1 kilometre. I mean, he's slowed down, but just a little bit. Still powering away. That start was extraordinary. Even with what I have in mind, there is no way I can beat this guy. And if I do, it's going to be awfully close. I just hope I can actually finish it.
400 metres to go.
I haven't heard the horn on the other side.
200 metres.
Hey, that start looked incredibly fast.
I didn't last long.
Did it? How was that?
Yeah, it was a bit difficult.
Stuart, what is the time I've got to beat?
11 minutes, 10 seconds. That's a hard time to beat.
All right, so I've got my work cut out for me. Any advice?
Don't cheat.
Same boat, same bit of river. I'm going to get kitted up.
Petr's time is amazing. That's about 5.5 kilometres an hour, paddling up against a current of 4 kilometres an hour. That is pretty fast.
So if you do between 12 and 15 minutes, it will be a great time. After the beginning, after the sprint, you have to get used to the breathing and, you know, the oxygen missing in your body. And then the last few hundred meters, that's probably the hardest thing to do.
No, I'm not going to pick that up. There's no way I'm going to pick that up.
In practice, I struggled to complete the distance, so beating 11 minutes is a massive task. My timing has to be spot on to catch the tidal bore. But even then, I'll be battling to stay upright on the choppy waters. I've got a lot to worry about.
So, I wish you good luck.
Thank you.
And enjoy it.
I'll see you in the finish line. Okay.
For Alex, it's quite a long way, you know, it's very exhausted. I'm paddling every day, he doesn't paddle every day, really difficult also for him.
I'm just going to wait a little bit. I don't think Peter can see how I can beat him. You know, he's been doing it 15 years. I've been doing it about a week. I'm really hoping to surprise the hell out of him. So I'm going to have to do something pretty special. And that something pretty special should be happening in the next 2 minutes.
Should be seeing the ball any moment.
I want it now.
Here comes the wind.
Oh, here comes the wind.
There it is. There it is.
It's breaking right across the river.
Action time now. Getting in the boat. So I'm going to ride that. That's going to give me the push that I need.
Paddle ready, please. Paddle ready.
Okay, all I've got to do now is stay on, and hopefully I can get close to Peter's time. But as you can see, staying on here is going to be difficult.
Alexis, ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1.
Come on, let's do this. 1 and 2. If I go too fast, I will run out of steam. 2 and 1. Getting pushed a lot off to the left. Feels like I'm heading into the bank.
Fine, just keep paddling.
This is hard. Almost lost it there. Oh, it's choppy, so choppy. Use my muscles, use the core.
We are 1/3 of the way.
1/3? Push, push, push. You move.
More than halfway.
I see the wave coming. That's very impressive. You release the water from the dam? No. I don't know.
You have 200 meters to the finish.
I can see the flag.
The water is moving much faster, definitely.
100 meters.
He's not looking really like a beginner anymore.
50 meters.
Come on, Alex. Push, 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 push. 1,
10,
2,
9,
push
8,
it down,
7,
push it down,
6,
push it down, push it down. Come on.
3, 2, 1.
Oh my God. Should I beat him? I have no idea.
Amazingly, I stayed afloat, and more or less in a straight line. But the question is, was I quicker than Petter?
Peter, your time, 11 minutes and 10 seconds. Alexis, your time, 5 minutes, 25 seconds. Congratulations to both of you.
Thank you.
Absolutely superb.
Thank you. It should be Alexis and Tidal Ball, 5 minutes, 25 seconds.
Congrats.
Thank you, sir. You've been a great sport.
I was trying to figure out, like, what could be the magic he's using to beat me, but I didn't get it. I think it was a really clever trick. It was awesome.
Fantastic. It's fantastic. I'm really happy, but now I need to lie down.